The film begins with adult Beth Bradley telling the story. She talks about the Herdman children, Imogen, Ralph, Claude, Ollie, Leroy, and Gladys. Everyone in town thinks they are the worst kids in the world. They are always causing trouble. Their mother is never around, and even the adults are scared of them. Beth lives in the town of Emmanuel with her parents, Grace and Bob, and her younger brother, Charlie. One day at school, Leroy Herdman brings his pet cat into the classroom. The cat scares everyone, and the teacher decides to let the kids out early. While outside, Imogen comes up to Beth and steals her locket. The locket is special because Beth's mom gave it to her. Every year, the town puts on a Christmas pageant. This year is special because it is the 75th anniversary of the pageant. The same woman, Mrs. Armstrong, usually directs the pageant each year. But this year, Mrs. Armstrong has an accident and breaks both her legs. She cannot direct the pageant. During a church meeting, Mrs. Wendelken, who is the mother of Beth's classmate Alice, makes a rude comment. She says Grace never helps with church events. Grace feels embarrassed and wants to prove her wrong, so she decides to take over and direct the Christmas pageant. Her husband, Bob, is not happy about it, but Grace is determined to do it anyway. At school, Charlie keeps losing his snacks because Leroy takes them every day. One day, Charlie accidentally tells him that he gets lots of snacks at church. After hearing this, the Herdman kids show up at church for the first time. Everyone is shocked and nervous to see them there. The Herdmans don't sing the hymns or give money during the offering, but they listen carefully when Grace starts talking about casting the parts for the Christmas nativity play. Usually, Alice is chosen to play Mary, but this time, Imogen demands to play Mary and says Ralph will be Joseph. Leroy, Claude, and Ollie take the roles of the three wise men, and Gladys wants to be the angel of the Lord. Grace tries to get the other kids to sign up too, but they are too scared to say anything. Imogen even threatens Alice to make her give up the role of Mary. The other moms and Mrs. Armstrong are angry at Grace for not stopping the Herdmans from taking over. Grace tells them that it will be okay and promises that the Herdmans won't cause any more problems. Later, the kids all go to the church to rehearse for the play. The Herdmans get there first and throw snowballs at everyone until the adults arrive and stop them. Once everyone is inside, Grace starts telling the nativity story. The Herdman kids have never heard it before. They listen closely and are very interested, though they act a little wild. They get angry at King Herod for trying to get rid of baby Jesus and say they want to kill him. Imogen keeps saying, "Oh my God," loudly, which upsets some of the church members. As they start practicing, the Herdmans begin giving out the smaller parts to the other kids themselves. Gladys tries to scare the kids by grabbing a prop stick and chasing them with it. Grace steps in quickly and tells her to stop. After one of the rehearsals at the church, Grace notices Imogen standing quietly in the hallway. She is staring at a large painting that shows Mary holding baby Jesus. There is a soft look on Imogen's face, one that Grace hasn't seen before. After a moment, Imogen says that Mary looks nice and pretty. Her voice is calm and full of wonder, which surprises Grace. Seeing Imogen this way makes Grace feel like there might be more to her than just trouble. Grace gently walks over and talks to her. She suggests that maybe Imogen would enjoy watching the Christmas pageant from the audience instead of acting in it. Grace says that sitting and watching might help Imogen take in the meaning of the story more clearly. But Imogen doesn't agree. She firmly says she still wants to play Mary in the pageant. Her mind is made up. The next day, the Bradley family gets ready for a drive around town. They bundle up in coats and get into the car. Grace and the kids think it's just a regular family outing. But what they don't know is that Bob has a special reason for this drive. Every year, without telling anyone, Bob goes to the Herdman's house before Christmas and delivers a ham. He knows that their mother struggles to afford a proper Christmas dinner, and this is his quiet way of helping. He always leaves the ham at the door without being seen. This time, Grace sees what Bob is doing and is touched by it. She starts to think differently about the Herdmans. Maybe they act out because no one really takes the time to understand them. Maybe they've never had a real Christmas or anyone to explain what it means. Grace begins to feel more sympathy toward them. She realizes that just because other parents talk badly about the Herdmans, it doesn't mean they're right. Grace decides she's going to stop worrying about what the other moms say and trust her own heart instead. The Herdmans, to everyone's surprise, start learning more about the Christmas story. They borrow a Bible and begin reading it so they can understand who Jesus is and why the nativity play is important. Even though they're known for causing trouble, they actually begin studying and doing their homework, something they've never really done before. They want to do their parts in the pageant right, in their own way. As rehearsals go on, Mrs. Armstrong, who is still recovering from her accident, stays involved by giving orders from home. Since she can't be there herself, she sends other moms, like Alice's mother, to sneak into the rehearsals and spy on what's going on. These moms pretend to help, but really, they're just there to report back to Mrs. Armstrong. Alice, who is still upset about losing the role of Mary, takes notes and watches everything the Herdmans do, hoping to catch them doing something wrong. Meanwhile, Beth keeps praying quietly to herself. She hopes that somehow, the Herdmans won't ruin the Christmas pageant. She's nervous because everyone expects them to mess things up, and the whole town is watching closely. Soon, it's time for the dress rehearsal. Grace is working hard to get all the kids ready. While she's trying to make sure the costumes fit and everything runs smoothly, the other adults are upstairs at the church hosting a potluck dinner. Grace is trying her best to stay calm, but problems keep popping up. One big issue is that no one wants to let their baby be baby Jesus anymore. Once word got out that the Herdmans were part of the pageant, especially that Imogen and Ralph would be playing Mary and Joseph, all the parents who used to volunteer their babies quickly changed their minds. They're too worried that something will go wrong, so Grace has no baby for the manger. Another problem comes up with Imogen. She refuses to take off her earrings, even though Mary wouldn't have worn any in that time period. It turns out that Gladys, her younger sister, had pierced Imogen's ears at home using a needle and ice. Grace tries to explain why it's important to look like the real Mary, but Imogen gets upset and storms off to the church bathroom. Just a few minutes later, people begin to smell smoke. Someone yells that there's a fire in the church bathroom. It turns out Imogen had been smoking a cigar she found, and it caused the fire alarm to go off. Thankfully, the fire is put out quickly and no one is hurt, but it causes a big commotion. After the fire is out, the other moms rush downstairs. They are angry and blame Grace for everything that's gone wrong. They say she never should have let the Herdmans be in the play. To them, this is exactly what they expected, that the Herdmans would show up, cause chaos, and ruin the pageant. Grace stands there, trying to hold it together, even as they all criticize her. The next day, Grace can't get in touch with the Herdmans. She calls their house, but no one answers. Worried, Beth rides her bike over to their place. When she finds Imogen, she tells her how much her mom, Grace, has done for them. While the whole town wanted the Herdmans out of the pageant, Grace gave them a chance. Imogen quietly says she doesn't think she should play Mary. She remembers the painting of Mary in the church and says she doesn't look nice and pretty like that. Beth tells her that being Mary isn't about looking perfect, it's about showing up and caring. She asks Imogen not to give up. That night, the pageant begins. At first, Alice is back as Mary. But moments later, she steps off stage and returns to the choir, clearly unhappy. Then, to everyone's surprise, the Herdmans walk in and take their places. Imogen, now playing Mary, has taken off her earrings. She even makes the crowd laugh by gently pretending to burp baby Jesus, who is just a doll. Claude, Ollie, and Leroy bring a Christmas ham as their gift instead of frankincense and myrrh. Gladys, as the angel, shouts, "Hey, unto you a child is born," and gets more laughs. But as the pageant goes on, something shifts. The audience sees Imogen start to cry, touched by the story for the first time. The show ends with loud applause. The town, once against the Herdmans, now sees them differently. After the pageant, they join everyone for food. They laugh, eat, and finally fit in. Before the night ends, Imogen walks up to Beth and returns the locket she stole. It's her quiet way of saying thank you. Adult Beth finishes telling her story to a new group of children who are now taking part in the Christmas pageant. She tells them about Imogen and how she once stood in front of a painting of Mary holding baby Jesus. Imogen had quietly said that Mary looked just right. Beth says she's thought about those words for many years, wondering what Imogen really meant. To Beth, that moment showed why the pageant still matters to their town. It's not just a performance, it's a way for people to understand something deeper, even if they don't seem like the right kind of people at first. She points out that they've kept Gladys's old angel wings all these years. It's their small way of remembering that special night. Beth looks at a photograph of herself standing with the Herdmans during that unforgettable pageant. It was the night everything changed, for the Herdmans, and for the town. The story ends by telling what happened to each of the Herdman kids. Ollie became a veterinarian who works in feline research. Claude became a public school teacher, and none of his students dared to swear in front of him. Leroy got into trouble a few times and ended up in jail, but he's doing better now. Gladys became a flight attendant, and all her passengers always listen when she speaks. Ralph became the pastor of the largest church in the Midwest. Imogen tried acting for a while, but later became the director of the Christmas pageant at Ralph's church. She's now a mother to 5 children, and, unlike her own mother, she's always there for them. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.